Hi guys, well I'm in Fernvale, just outside of Brisbane between Esk and Ipswich. It's kind of pretty much the headwaters, the top of the Brisbane River, and I'm here just waiting to see a friend to do something, and I saw this lovely mural, so I thought I'd have a look at this. There's not a lot of bird stuff in it, but it's interesting to look at what is here, and they've done some really interesting things which we'll talk about. There's a sign there explaining what's on here, and they do talk about the Jaguar Aboriginal people. This is part of their traditional area. So there's some depictions and also some X-ray paintings there in the Aboriginal style. But if we look over here, we've got emus on the left. Now, no doubt there would have been emus back down around here in the early stages of European colonisation. Now the closest that you get them in southeast Queensland is probably just around Dalby, I believe. So we have a picture of an emu here, a traditional Aboriginal style and a more realistic kind of Western style painting that looks like one. Over here, obviously settlers, the wool trade was a big thing. Lots of introduced birds. Fun to see a scrub turkey or Australian brush turkey in there with this actual turkey. Chickens, interesting looking rooster. The history of the domestication of chickens is always interesting to look at, and what they were like a while ago, not kind of like what they're like now with the selective breeding just to make them big egg layers. But so here we have a catfish, and it's these lungfish that caught my eye down here. So if we move along, and we're slowly going through time, so this is probably, haven't actually looked, this would be probably the 1860s, I suspect, and it goes up to World War One around here. But now we have the lungfish in X-ray style, and look, there's a bullock team with the logging. Red cedar was the prize tree, and it was almost completely logged out around here, or in southeast Queensland, and you won't be able to see it here. But an interesting way to date really old buildings is the width of the planks. So planks that were really quite wide, let's see, probably just under a foot wide. They're from about the 1860s and earlier, and that was because there were still mature red cedar trees that could be cut down. Planks after that are more like the weatherboard planks that we know now. That's because there just weren't those mature trees around anymore, so you can actually date some of these buildings, given the type of timber, just by the width of the actual planks that they were able to cut and how denuded the mature tree stock was, basically. So anyway, so we have a bullock team there with the timber jinker. These look like hoop pine trees in the background up there. But anyway, so down here with the lungfish, it's interesting how they're now painting them in the X-ray Aboriginal style, whereas over here they're a bit more realistic. And I was thinking, well, does that show that there were no lungfish around here by then? There are reports of lungfish in the upper reaches of the Brisbane River. Now there's archaeological evidence that shows that they were there 3,850 years ago, based on the carbon dating of some of the skeletal remains they've got there. So it looks like that historically there has been a native population of lungfish in the Brisbane River, but there's certainly some have been introduced from the Mary and Burnett River more recently. So so I was thinking maybe they're depicting that they disappeared after settlement, so I'm not quite sure there. So it's like they've passed into the spirit realm or the memory, I suppose. Certainly lungfish were here 3,850 years ago, but I don't know how recently the population stopped, so it's probably a bit of speculation here. And then of course they were reintroduced by people at some stage from the Mary and Burnett rivers. So anyway, I mean, certainly the settlement would have affected native populations of animals, you can be sure of that. Whether or not the lungfish was already gone by that stage and was subsequently reintroduced, I have no idea. What a nice big fat happy green trefoil bed is. Eel, and what do I see, another catfish up there, plenty of catfish in here. And now we're going over here to World War One, and look at this, a cat outside, shouldn't be outside. I love the cricket, because cricket and sport was a huge social thing for all of these country towns. It really was a big deal. And World War One, and of course no emus. Oh, would there have been emus around here by then? I don't know, I'd have to look into historical records, but the emu feathers on the light horse. So they're certainly passed into memory now. No emus around here now. And the carpet snake up there, which I know is the totem of the Jaegera people. I can't tell you much more than that about it, and there's a big poppy there. World War One was a huge effect all around Australia. Basically, I can't remember the figures, but essentially either every family lost someone or they knew a family that did. It was that huge, the amount of people who died compared to the population of the country at the time. And a pineapple was interesting, because I had no idea that pineapples were grown around here. And nice to see I mean, they're not now, the Sunshine Coast, not here. And a platypus, nice to see that depicted. So anyway, not a lot of bird stuff, but always interesting to look at these historical murals. And so the lungfish, did they pass into memory with white settlement and were then reintroduced? Who knows, but there's certainly evidence that there was a population here beforehand, before other lungfish were reintroduced from the Mary and Burnett rivers. Little kids bareback. Yeah, it's quite a nice mural, this one. Unfortunately it's cracking up a bit. But anyway, I'll just end on the sign if you want to read a bit more detail. Alright guys, have a great day everyone, see you.